Hey boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing today? This is a little video that I wanted to put together. There's no script, obviously. I don't do scripts. Scripts are for losers. So, I'm here to talk to you about a couple things. First of all, news. I have a dog. It's not my dog, but I'm basically dog sitting during the day, and so that's causing some issues with scheduling. It's really unfortunate. I plan to stream tonight, and when this video goes up, it'll be like, I won't be streaming when this video goes up. I'll be streaming tonight. Anyway, I want to talk about toxic communities and all that stuff involving mobile games. So, check it, right? I've been trying to get into a bunch of different mobile games because I'm bored. I want to expand upon what my content involves. And so I've been trying to get into different, gacha games and whatever. And I've noticed, so y'all have already noticed that I don't play Genshin even though I enjoy it. Genshin's community is mostly positive. I haven't had any negative interaction with it. It's just that Genshin is not a game that lends itself well to being streamed unless you're particularly part of the Genshin community or something, and I just need to grind a lot, right? I just need to do a lot of grinding, and that's not really fun to watch. So I don't stream Genshin. I have Nikke Goddess of Victory, and you notice I don't stream that anymore. I think I streamed it once. What happened? Okay. Well, the community for Nikke is pretty toxic. You noticed that I played Iron Saga. Apparently, the moderators of the Discord are really toxic, and that's just a no-go for me, man. And I am absolutely calling them out, and I don't give a fuck, right? There's nothing they can say to tell me that they're not toxic. I can tell, right? You might be like, oh, what did they do to make you think they're toxic? All right, so check it. I have the receipts, but I'm not going to show them here. I'm lazy. Effectively, they muted me in the entire Discord because I had offhand... So, I had asked a question in the questions channel, and the question was more or less answered. And at the end of the question chain, I had made a funny haha comment that wasn't anything really. Something about bringing fists to a gunfight, right? And they muted me on the entire Discord. The entire Discord. They could have... I'm 90% certain they can mute you in a specific channel. I think I can. But they muted me in the entire Discord. So... But apparently... So this is what cemented my idea to leave the server and never go back, right? For the Iron Saga Discord server. I was talking about it and it's like, this is shit, but whatever, right? Well, when one of your community members says verbatim, our moderation's a bit toxic in those channels, I'm like, nah. Like, I already thought it was bullshit, but it was whatever, right? I was gonna ignore it and move on with my day. But if that's just normal, like, I had already seen a couple of mutes and I was like, that's not a great reason, but whatever. Maybe it's... I think one of the mutes was some dude actually being a complete jackass, so that's whatever. But then, like, we had the conversation. I was the only one who had said anything off topic for the questions channel, right? My silly little joke. And, like, 3 people got muted for it. Nah. Anyway. So, I'm only bringing that up because that's what solidified my reason to make a toxic communities thing. Because that's only the latest of, what, 5, 6 different communities I've tried to join, only for it to be like, entitled jackasses trying to tell me how to play the game. Like, why is it doing that? I'm recording a video. I'm not fucking streaming anything. Are you okay? SoundCloud? God. Anyway. So, let me explain a little bit about what's been happening in the mobile games community space, right? That's exceptionally toxic. Okay. So, I'm going to use Iron Saga because that's the most recent one for examples. There are a couple, but I was ignoring them because, to be quite honest, the majority of the community seemed alright. It was, it was a bad actor who didn't understand what was going on, but, shit happens. But then it's like the moderation is super toxic too, and that's no bueno. That's a no-go. Remember, the moderation of your Discord or any other service or product or whatever, your moderation is also PR, right? Anything they do will reflect on you as a brand forever, right? It's why I'm very specific and very careful about who I put into my mod team and my Discord, because I'm like, it doesn't help that if someone was to fuck up in my mod team, I'd have to remove them as mod. It would suck, but I'd have to. If I think the moderation decisions are not correct, I will solve the problem, right? I will never be too big to solve that problem. It'll be annoying, but it'll have to be happen, right? It's very important to me. It's the same as having a positive facing PR in anything, right? And like, you might be like, but Pillow, you're like the opposite of positive PR, aren't you? You say wild shit. Yes, I do. But here's the thing, nothing I ever say or do is intended with the idea to hurt people for the reason to hurt people. I don't try to abuse any powers, quote unquote, that I may or may not have. I don't try to do anything like that, right? I'll say racy shit because it's funny. I'm a VTuber, edgy, haha, funny, you know what I mean? But that doesn't give me or anyone else carte blanche to actually be an asshole. That's it. So moving on, toxic communities. So Iron Saga is one of the lessers. It didn't really have this much of an issue, but there was at least one, and it's a good example, right? So I was asking for tips and stuff. Specifically, I ask for specific tips. I don't ask for general tips of, oh, what should I do for the next 6 weeks, right? I don't do that. I went into the questions channel, and I say went because no longer. And I'd ask, you know, hey, what's this mech? Or, hey, how do I get this item? You know, because it's not on the list of item. It doesn't have an acquire thing. Or, what item should I go after in the future, right? And that's fine. But, you know, there's always that one guy who sits there and tries to give you a whole list of things you need to do. And it's like, bro, I can't even collect the item that's required. In this case, hold on. In this case, we're talking about firm steel armor. Firm steel armor is a 3% reduction to all, or nothing more than 3% damage will get through to your tank or mech or plane. This is obviously very important and very good. Apparently, it's a super meta item. All that's fine and dandy. I'm not chapter 29. I can't do challenge 29, right? I'm sitting there farming for just general things that I can get, right? I'm asking about, oh, hey, is this mech meta? Or is this mech even viable in any capacity? Can I make this work, right? Those kind of questions. I've been told no a couple times and they've been right. So I've been more or less listening to that. But then this guy wants to sit there and keep yelling at me about, oh, you have to get firm steel. You have to get firm steel. I'm like, I know I got to get it. But guess what? That doesn't fucking help me. I'm still at, like, at the time, I'm still at, like, chapter 22. I've got, like, a whole, like, 9 chapters to go before I can even touch challenges. Then it's 3 challenges a day that I can do. So that means over the course of the next 4 days to get the challenge 29, I have to play the challenges and keep leveling up the challenges. And then I've got to farm I think it's a purple or blue, right? That like is one of like 3 or 4 items that may or may not drop at like a 6% chance or some shit. Like, I'm not seeing that firm steel armor for a couple months at least. Minimum. Right? Fucking get off my dick about it. So I was that's one of them. But this happens in every single mobile game I've played and tried to get into the community of. Nikkei is one of them. They keep telling me, oh, you can't use this character because they're not viable, and you have to do it this way and not this way, and so on. So a good example is Red Hood. in Nikkei, Red Hood has 3 abilities that can be shot, that can be activated in phase 1, 2, or 3, and it's like this whole ability phasing thing, which is completely trash. It's just shit. It's garbage. It's a dumb idea. It's another way to add another complicated mechanic to gatekeep shit. And that's what it does. It gatekeeps shit. It makes things a little bit more difficult, makes things more complicated, both to balance and for the devs and for players to get into it. So you're sitting there with, like, you know, oh, you have, most characters can only activate on phase 1, 2, 3. They can only do it on 1. Red Hood can do it on any of them. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a really long time, right? Because I haven't really tried anything with it. It's Red Hood is part of my I'm gonna level you as hard as I can team. So Red Hood and the rest of the team kind of just kill everything that I encounter right now because I'm just at such a low level, and there's something like level 50 or 60 in the game, and that's really high for early content. So I don't really get to use my abilities anyway. So I don't know what a good combo is. The way I was thinking about it, and the way I think it works, because I'm not sure, right? But I think it works this way, is you can tag Red Hood at any phase, right? So if you want to tag Red Hood at phase 1, you can. If you want to do it 2 or 3, you can. So my thoughts process was, I'll have a phase 1 that isn't Red Hood, right? And in case I do want to use Red Hood's ability, I will. But it's not that big of a deal. Then phase 2 will be Red Hood. Will be Red Hood. It will always be Red Hood because there's no reason not to. And I don't really have very many good phase 2s, right? It's whatever. And then phase 3 would be some big motherfucker that's got a phase 3, right? So I only have to plan around having phase 1s and 3s. And so my phase 2 is only Red Hood. That's fine. If it works the way I think it works, then I activate phase 1 of either of the abilities that I care about. Then I activate Red Hood, and then I activate the phase 3 of either of the abilities that I care about. I get 2 abilities to choose from there, and not included in that is that if I ever want to, I can just 3-phase Red Hood as well. Like, I could just do that instead, and its ability is also pretty good. So I had options as far as I knew, right? My team comps kept getting, you know, bullied, and it's like, bro, fuck off. I don't want to use anyone else. You know, I don't like anyone else. I'm very picky, right? And that's just how it is. I just want to use I want to use these characters. They're not bad characters in of themselves. They have a good spread of stats, a good spread or weapons. They have a good spread of typings. It's fine. But they kept badgering me about it. I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this, so I left the. You know what I mean? Because I didn't ask about team composition. I wasn't asking about it. I was like, is this specific character viable? Can I use this character, right? This kind of thing. So, that is every single Discord community that I have encountered with mobile games. Not Genshin. I've never gone to the Genshin Discord. But when it comes to mobile games that I have encountered, it's just, there's a reason I don't play Iron Saga, or now. I don't play Nikkei, I don't play Genshin, I don't play Girls Frontline, which was another one where people were like, oh, you have to do this and this and this and this and this. And I was like, bro, shut the fuck up. I just want to play the game. And then, and it's unsolicited advice. Like, here's the most important part about that, right? It's not that I asked advice and they're giving me advice and they're just it's that I'll be chilling, I'll offhand, you know, hey, can I use FNC to do this and this? And they're like, yes or no. Whatever, that's fine. But then one motherfucker will start going in, oh, but you need to do this and this, and get this character and this character. And it's like, bro, I ain't getting none of these characters. I've got a list of characters I'm going to get. It's going to be a team that I'm going to do, and you can shut the fuck up. That's it. That's the end of the discussion. There is no discussion there. Shut up. I don't want that advice. If I ask for advice, I'll ask for advice. Arknights was also the same way. Now, I want to be clear. Arknights, the biggest problem I had was people were like, oh, don't use this character because I don't like this character, which is super duper toxic, right? It's like, I don't care if you don't like a character. I don't care if it's preference. That's not what I'm asking, what your preference is. I'm asking what is quote-unquote viable or effective in the context of this scenario. And then they want to sit there and go, oh, but you can't use these characters because they're not lollies because you're fucking lolicon or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, fuck off. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Right? Absolutely. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Toxic mobile communities are toxic, and I don't hang out with that. And it's the same with other Discords that are that have pretty toxic moderation. I don't hang out in those. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that shit. Don't forget to go to my Discord. I do actually have a Discord, and it's not really moderated. There's like 1 or 2 people who do it. I keep an eye on everything too because I'm always active, even if I'm not streaming. And I let you guys know if I'm streaming or not. Again, I'll be streaming tonight at like, well, it's 2 p.m. right now. I will be streaming later at like probably 8 or 9, if not later, because of this dog. And by that I mean I'm taking care of the dog, kind of, sort of, so she doesn't poop inside. And the guy who owns the dog doesn't come in. He didn't come in yet last night till like 11, and I had to postpone stream for it because of it. That's why we're streaming tonight. Don't forget to do any of that stuff. Bye, guys. Bye. Good night. Bye. Good night. Bye. Good night.